stealth and cunning of the predator, unrivaled in this arena, patiently stalking their prey, watching, waiting, until...
Attack! 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 Prepare for this? No conflict! Chase the fight to this!
Get ready to go, we gotta take it!
Dominate your opponent, play fast, physical!
Predator or prey will be decided now.
All eyes in this 3:30 window in the SEC on LSU and Florida meeting for the 54th consecutive year, despite being in opposite divisions. No divisions anymore in the SEC. Our Bud Light Series history, very close between the two. Florida leading by just one win here in Gainesville in the last 7 games in the Swamp, decided by 37 total points. LSU has dominated this series of late, winning 5 in a row. The last loss to the Gators came in 2019. Check that, 2018. Full house today on an absolutely gorgeous mid-November Saturday in Gainesville. Temperatures in the mid-70s. Not a cloud in the sky. Essentially a must-win today for LSU, an elimination game for the Tigers in terms of their hopes of getting to the SEC championship game and the college football playoff. Thanks to a blowout loss to Alabama last week, 42-13 in Death Valley. Let's update you on the latest SEC standings. Earlier today on ABC, Texas beat Arkansas, so there are still 3 one-loss teams. SEC leaders are Texas, Tennessee, and Texas A&M. Remember, Texas and Texas A&M play Thanksgiving weekend. And then you got a handful of teams at 2 losses. A Tennessee win tonight over Georgia would essentially knock the Bulldogs out of contention for the SEC championship and the college football playoff. And right now, LSU needs all the help that it can get, starting with a win here in Gainesville.
That's where it starts, playing better football, winning here today. But it's wild to think of the scenarios. If, the favorites went out, if certain things happen, LSU could still wind up right there in Atlanta. It just really goes to show how competitive this SEC at the top has been all season long. Every Saturday, you don't know what's going to happen. It's been so much competition, been so much fun to watch. And this race for Atlanta, man, it is heating up here down the stretch.
Tennessee were to somehow beat Georgia. They still have to go to Vanderbilt. Obviously, the Commodores are not an easy out. They beat Alabama earlier this year. A lot of people wrote off the Crimson Tide a couple weeks ago, but they're just 1 loss back of the top spot in the SEC. Let's take a look at what the All-State playoff predictor shows us coming into today in terms of LSU's chances of making the playoff and the SEC championship game. Not much, but that can all change with a win today. Obviously, at 3 losses and 4 losses overall, no shot of making the college football playoff or the SEC championship game for that matter.
Yeah, all these scenarios for LSU predicated on them handling their business. And that was the big thing we talked with Brian Kelly. It's about this team getting better, and the preparation has been the focus throughout the course of the week. He said, Brian Kelly told us, all these players know they've got Twitter, they've got X, and the focus and getting ready for this game was exactly what the head coach had in mind.
And speaking of Brian Kelly, he's with Taylor.
Yeah, thank you. Turnovers have been a problem for your offense the last 6 quarters. What has to change today to stop that trend?
Well, good decision making. Put our guys in a good position to succeed, and then you got to go play the game. You got to play fast, free, physical. You can't be worrying about it, but you got to work on that stuff during the week, and that's behind us now. It's time to play. These guys got to go out and compete.
What did you work on during the week to better stop the run?
Well, I mean, again, this comes down to 11 players playing together, and so, again, for us, at times during the year, we've had one guy here, one guy there, maybe not the right call. We all have to be in sync, 11 guys playing together.
Thank you, Coach. Dave?
And a couple of key players on defense, Braden Swinson and Sage Ryan, will not start and not expected to play at all in the first quarter for quote-unquote not meeting team standards. But LSU will be on offense first. Florida won the toss, elected to defer. Trey Smack will boot it deep to Xavier Thomas. Florida needs to win 2 of its last 3 to make a bowl game and also make the fans here in the Swamp believe they're headed in a positive direction. This will be a touchback and will come out to the 25. Garrett Nussmeier's dad, Doug, a coach right now with the Eagles, was once the offensive coordinator here in Gainesville, so Garrett actually played at a local high school before moving on to Lake Charles, Louisiana. His first career start was in the bowl game last year. Jane Daniels was sitting out getting ready for the NFL draft. And speaking of the draft, Mel Kiper has Nussmeier right now as the number 4 quarterback.
Well, he can make every single throw on the field. He's had multiple come from behind, double-digit victories. Just got to take better care of the football. Struggled in that department the last 6 quarters. He was confident he was going to get that under control starting here today.
And he's going to throw on first down. On the rollout and a completion out to the 40-yard line. Aaron Anderson, a gain of 16 on the opening play.
It's a really nice route by Aaron Anderson. Going to move the pocket to the right. Good find by Anderson. Shuts his route down, creates some space, and a good confident throw on first down.
40th catch of the year for Anderson, the transfer from Alabama. And the pass by Nussmeier high, but Anderson on the catch. And scoots out of play after a gain of 6, pushed out by Jordan Castell.
Getting Aaron Anderson involved in different ways. Really become a true playmaker for this offense. Excellent with the ball in his hands and a nice job on the perimeter, creating some space for him to get some nice yards after the catch.
On 2nd and 4. And another pass play. Boy, they really want Anderson to get some touches early on. Dragged down at the 48-yard line by Tyreek Sapp. LSU is the best 3rd down team in the SEC.
Big reason Garrett Nussmeier, the amount of options he has at his disposal. 4 different pass catchers with over 30 yards. Josh Williams checks in 18. Does a really nice job in pass protection. And watch for 86, Mason Taylor. A lot of comfort with his tight end.
Instead, they're going to run Durham. And he's close to the first down. Got pushed back. Josh Williams, rather, the ball carrier, stuffed. And it is going to be 4th down. Do you take a chance and go for it here on the first drive at midfield?
I think Brian Kelly's going to go for this. I'm a little bit more conservative. I'd probably look to get the punt team out here. But in this spot, Brian Kelly on the road, he's going to lean on this offensive line. I expect the quarterback sneak a little push from the running back from behind.
And a timeout called by Brian Kelly, so may have changed his mind based on the look Florida was showing. Awfully early to call a timeout, but We'll see if Kelly changes his mind and punts it or keeps the offense on the field. Our Impact Players brought to you by Home Depot. They have obviously a terrific left tackle in Will Campbell.
Well, Dave, I spend a lot of time in the trenches, and that's where my eyes go. And on film, I have not evaluated a better offensive lineman this season than the left tackle Will Campbell of LSU. Really excellent body control. And then how about Jake Slaughter, the center for Florida? He's been excellent both with protection in the run game, a key cog in that Florida offensive line. And that's where this game, to me, is going to be won. Up front, line of scrimmage. You get your popcorn ready here early, as LSU, even after the timeout, they're going to go for it.
Will they run behind Will Campbell? They've got Nussmeier in the gun here on 4th down and 1. And on the jet sweep, it's Thomas, dragged down for a loss back at the 46-yard line by Johnson, and the Gators will take over in plus territory.
Well, Xavier Thomas is so explosive and has so much speed. They've been creative, getting him the football in a variety of ways. But this is just so well played. Watch getting up the field, setting the edge. And Dijon Johnson getting the speedy wide receiver to the ground. He doesn't make that tackle on the perimeter. Thomas is going to get that first down. Outstanding job in the open field with that tackle, being aggressive, being downhill. That's putting a lot on a quarterback to make that play, and Johnson was up for the task.
So Florida will start at the LSU 46. True freshman DJ Lagway officially back at quarterback for the Gators after missing last week's game against Texas, a 49-17 loss due to a hamstring injury. Gonna hand it off to Jaden Baugh, in trouble in the backfield, and gets drilled. A penalty marker comes flying in. Big hit by Major Burns.
Holding. Offense. Number 58. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Austin Barber, the left tackle. All right, DJ Lagway, the #1 quarterback prospect coming out of high school in Willis, Texas, the National Player of the Year. And then against Samford, he got the start when Graham Mertz was out with a concussion. He set the Florida freshman record for passing, and he's as good as anybody in college football throwing the ball down the field. This is his 4th career start. He is 2-1, and the one loss was against Georgia. They were in that game in the first half when he got hurt. He was carted off, and they thought the injury was much more serious than just a hamstring pull. More flags here. Went backwards just a moment ago because of the holding, and another penalty in Florida.
Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And that's on Jake Slaughter, who we touched on earlier, the outstanding center. So you go from having the ball at the LSU 46-yard line to now being back at your 39.
Jaden Baugh motioning out. He did this last play before the penalties. An excellent pass catcher on the perimeter.
Lagway with time, launches it, broke it up, incomplete, intended for DK, and a collision. Ashton Stamps, the corner, arriving right when the ball did.
For Stamps, eyes on the quarterback, jumps this throw. I think he gets there right at the same time as the football. DK was looking for the flag. I think that's really well defended and good anticipation from Ashton Stamps.
LSU's defense has struggled the last 2 games in terms of rush defense. They've given up almost 600 yards on the ground the last 2 games and 11 touchdowns. But a pass play on first down and another on 2nd and 25. Lagway again over the middle, and DK went down and made the catch. You get a chunk of it back to about the 48, a gain of 14, 3rd and long.
Good job by DK working back to the football. One thing you watch with Lagway, standing in there in the pocket, he said this is going to be a great opportunity for him for growth, for being able to stay in the pocket, the slide to his right, makes an accurate throw, sets up 3rd and at least much more manageable than where they were.
Lagway DK juggled it and could not come down with it on the read direction. Zy Alexander in coverage. So despite LSU turning it over on downs in midfield, Florida, because of the penalties, ends up punting.
You can't cover it any better than Zy Alexander. He's their best cover guy. He essentially runs the route for DK. DK tries to bring it in off the initial miss. But Zy Alexander in perfect position. Really nice job by LSU. After the sudden change, the fourth down stop, their defense comes up big.
Ray Guy semifinalist Jeremy Crawshaw on to punt. Another flag.
Illegal substitution. 12 men broke the huddle. 5-yard penalty. Fourth down.
Well, Billy Napier told us it was the best week of practice they've had all year. Certainly doesn't look like it here in the first 4 minutes with 3 penalties already. Year 3 for Napier, 15 and 19 on coming into this game, 8 and 14 in SEC games. And a short punt by Crawshaw, and the fair catch made by Thomas at about the 17-yard line. About 4 minutes gone by here in Gainesville. No score. LSU's offense back on the field when we return.
Tuesday.
Nine SEC teams ranked in the latest college football playoff rankings that came out on Tuesday. Here's Josh Williams on first down. Past the 20, a flag comes down. Williams tackled at the 23 by Bryce Thornton.
It's going to be on Banks. Looks like he grabbed a hold of the face mask on Josh Williams.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense. 15-yard penalty at the end of the run. Automatic first down.
It's good to see them start this drive on the ground, Dave. This was a huge point of emphasis. Brian Kelly talked this week in his press conference, talked to us. We've got to get back to running the football as we'll take a look at this replay. Banks gets extended, grabs that face mask. Josh Williams, a reliable, thick back. You're going to see Caden Durham, the explosive, outstanding freshman. But leaning on this offensive line, not just as pass protectors, but in the run game, a huge factor in this game and the remainder of this season.
Nussmeier throwing for the 5th time already. In trouble, backing up and just hoisted out of bounds with everybody covered downfield. And they've been a pass-first team on the year, and so far here, 4.5 minutes into this game.
And it's understandable. Look, Joe Sloan, they got a lot of weapons. They got one of the better quarterbacks in the country, but they need to find a better semblance of balance as Cade Durham checks into the ball game on second down. And he's also a very good pass catcher out of the backfield as well.
He's got 18 catches. He started the last 3 games at running back, 6 touchdowns, 3 against Arkansas. And here he is on the pitch. Breaks that tackle and then finally knocked out of bounds at the 46 by Thornton. So a gain of 8 for the true freshman from Oklahoma City who did not get to Baton Rouge until June.
Will Campbell going to pull out in front. Nice block by C.J. Daniels there on the perimeter. You see that burst and the contact balance there from the freshman Caden Durham. Nice pickup on second down.
And they failed on a 3rd down conversion earlier, which is rare for them. They lead the conference in that and then failed on 4th down as well.
I'm giving it back to 29. I'm leaning on my running back.
Instead, play action. And Nussmeier dumping it off to his tight end Taylor, cut down by Aaron Gates. It's 4th down. Will they go for it again, essentially at the same spot from earlier? The offense staying on the field? No. Here comes the punt team. Right decision?
Brian Kelly learned his lesson. I told you last time I thought they should punt it. And once again, I think they punt it. This is an excellent job by Aaron Gates, the redshirt freshman who's really emerged since the Georgia game. Reading that play perfectly, and getting the big, talented Mason Taylor to the ground and forcing this punt.
They've been rotating punters with Peyton Todd and Blake Oschendorf. This is Oschendorf booting it deep to DK. And DK is going to let it bounce, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback.
Well, the Florida Gator defense had all kinds of struggles a week ago in Austin. They've got answers here so far today. Aaron Gates out in space. He chops down Mason Taylor, and a big stop for the Gators.
The SEC on ABC is presented by Burger King. They're here. 3 new delicious Whopper sandwiches created by fans. Get to BK now.
Away from Buchholz High School, which is where Garrett Nussmeier began his high school career when his dad, Doug, was the offensive coordinator under Jim McElwain here at Florida. He told us this week he had a lot of friends, former coaches reach out to him telling him that they will be at this game, but he was all business, Dusty. He just wanted to get here and get the win. Yeah,
there's no doubt, Taylor, he was. He focused on winning this football game, but clearly excited to be back in Gainesville.
And Lagway off play action on first down. It should have been picked off. Dropped at the 35-yard line by Devon Keys, a true freshman. Boy, that would have given LSU the ball at the Florida 35.
Well, it's going to be a zone drop from Keys, and he does an excellent job getting right in the throwing window. And DJ Lagway never saw him. Really good job by the true freshman. Gets to his anchor, gets to exactly where he's supposed to be, and boy, he's not going to like watching that film. That ball hits him right in the hands. A missed opportunity from the freshman linebacker.
Lagway just 1 of 4 passing, so they'll run it on second down, and pinballing forward is Jacoby Jackson. Jaden Baugh and Jackson have been getting most of the reps lately, with Montrell Johnson out due to injury. Johnson, a preseason second-team All-SEC, expected back, but he's lost playing time because both Baugh and Jackson have been really good. Jackson rushed for 116 yards in a loss at Texas last week.
Yeah, last 3 games, this rushing attack has really stepped up. Anticipate a pass here. DK, the natural comfort blanket for DJ Lagway. Expected them to look his way on third down.
LSU brings pressure. It's picked up, and a shot to DK, pulled in LSU territory, down to the 43, a gain of 35 yards.
Well, it's one-on-one coverage and man-to-man, and the safety doesn't get over the top, and you can't place it any better than this from DJ Lagway. And this is what he brings to this offense, the ability to push the football down the field. Impressive throw and a nice third down conversion.
Against the true freshman, P.J. Woodland at corner. And back to the ground game. Breaking a tackle is Jackson inside the 30 and out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. 20 yards on the ground.
Well, the interior of this offensive line, it's going to be Slaughter and it's going to be George. They do a really nice job just creating a crease. Harris washes it down. And boy, Jacoby Jackson has really emerged and stepped up. You mentioned career high a week ago. In the loss with 116 yards. Got some real bursts and explosiveness. Get a little wildcat here, Dave.
And now Lagway shifts back to his quarterback spot next to Jackson. And Lagway will throw, lobbing it towards the end zone. And it's caught. Elijah Badger back healthy and back into the end zone. Touchdown, Gators. Lagway goes from nearly turning the ball over deep in his own end to getting into the end zone. Elijah Badger, who did not play against Texas due to injury last week, it's his 3rd touchdown catch. And Smack makes it 7-0 Florida.
Well, Elijah Badger, we knew coming back his explosiveness would be key. Double move, slant and go from Badger. The route is outstanding. He's going to start up, work it back out. and he beats the man-to-man coverage by Ashton Stamps. He gets Ashton Stamps squatting, sitting, and how about the ball placement? Back shoulder, big touchdown for the Gators.
Florida, thanks to DJ Lagway, marches down the field, and Lagway throws his 7th touchdown pass of the year, giving Billy Napier's team a 7-0 lead. You can see why Napier was so excited, and the team was thrilled to have Lagway back at practice this week. So be a touchback. So while we have a moment, let's check in with Kevin Nagandi in the studio.
Dave, wild final 2 minutes in Pittsburgh. Clemson down by 3, Boog, and here comes Cade Klubnik, the keeper.
Yeah, I love the fact Cade Klubnik for the first down to get in field goal range, Kev, and then not only does he get in that, he scores a touchdown.
50 yards to the house. Clemson ends the game with a pick with their defense, and their ACC hopes are still alive. 24-20, Tigers back to Dave, Dusty, and Taylor.
And that's big, Kev, because with Miami's loss, looking like they just one ACC team in the new 12-team playoff with an automatic bid, and the Tigers still in it. These Tigers back on offense with true freshman Caden Durham getting about 4 yards before Miles Graham makes the stop. Don't forget later tonight on ABC. Big one in Athens. Game day was there. Great scene. Tennessee, Georgia.
Massive one tonight there in Athens. It feels like Georgia loses, they're done, and will be a huge win for Josh Heupel in Tennessee. How about Kansas BYU? Boy, that is going to be an interesting one in Provo tonight.
Kind of the same thing we were talking about with Clemson. If BYU loses, you got to think, man, it's going to be a one-bid conference. Nussmeier side-arming it incomplete. It was dropped at the 28-yard line by Pimpton. He could not hang on. And so that'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, this all of a sudden, I know it's early. It's really early, but feels like a big 3rd down for LSU. They do not go 3 and out very often. And I'm going to tell you what, we've been in some venues this year, but the Swamp today, it is deafening. Moments like this, it's Mason Taylor, where Garrett Nussmeier typically looks.
Nussmeier completes it, and it is Mason Taylor, whose dad, Jason, in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's catch number 44. He leads all SEC tight ends.
Well, he's one of the best tight ends in all of college football. Watch the route. Just excellent job running away from the linebacker, Shamar James. The timing, perfect. When you think about Taylor and Nussmeier, best friends, and clearly on the same page.
Taylor a finalist for the Mackey Award, which goes to the top tight end. Pass play again. Nussmeier backing up and launches it out of bounds with pressure that time from Caleb Banks.
It's an LSU offensive line, Dave, that does not give up a lot of pressure. Only 6 sacks given up on the season. That's the best there is in the SEC, 4th best in all of college football. But as you referenced, nice job by Banks, getting some late pressure there on Garrett Nussmeier. I keep wanting to run the ball on 1st down and get Caden Durham going.
And here's Anderson on that wide receiver screen. And Stefan farming a defender out to the 46. Boy, they're targeting Aaron Anderson a lot here. They have not thrown it to Kyron Lacey yet, their leading receiver. But Anderson so far with 4 catches, 4 targets. But it's 3rd down and 4.
Might be a prime time to go exactly what you mentioned. Kyron Lacey, top of your screen. He's isolated. He's 3 catches in every game this season.
Play clock down to 2. They'll keep it on the ground. Big hole for Durham. And the true freshman Caden Durham takes it into Florida territory. First time they've been on the Gator side of the field.
Well, Mason Taylor this time is going to come in. He's going to get a key block. And then it's also on the edge, Will Campbell. Really nice job by Campbell getting up to that 2nd level. Taylor kicking out. And a nice hole opens up there in the middle for Caden Durham.
Durham been battling through injury, had a couple of dislocated toes earlier in the season. He's behind Nussmeier and will get it on first down off the left edge inside the 40 and shoved out of bounds by Shamar James near the first down.
Really trying to attack the outside. That's that outside stretch zone. Will Campbell with the key block. It's Mason Taylor once again. That burst, Dave. Imagine dislocated toes. I mean, imagine dislocating your toes and being able to come back. He's not 100%, but he's got some toughness and still the best option they have at running back.
I mean, I have to think that's hard for somebody playing your position in nose tackle, but how about a running back with dislocated toes?
Unbelievable.
Josh Williams now at running back. Semi-finalist for the Campbell Trophy. Academic Heisman. They fake it to him. Nussmeier in trouble, being chased by Pyburn. Gets rid of the pass, incomplete. Trying to hit Williams, and it's 3rd down and 1.
And you don't overthink this one. 3rd and short. Run the football. Showed in short yardage. It's a full yard. I don't know if you're in sneak mode right here, but you got Josh Williams with a physical runner. I think you hand the football off and you lean on this offensive line.
Josh Williams made the first defender miss in the hole and got the first down. Boy, you saw big Desmond Watson at 450 flash into the backfield, but one cut by Williams leads to a first down.
Yeah, watch big Watson. He's going to cross the center's face, DJ Chester. This is good vision by Josh Williams. He feels the big defensive tackle, jump cut, get vertical immediately, and move the chains.
Williams in his 6th year. He was on the 2019 championship team. He's got 2 degrees from LSU. And here's an end around to Thomas. And Thomas ripped down at the 32. Great tackle by Bridges after a gain of just a couple.
With Bridges, key block on the edge. And they've been committed the last couple of weeks to being creative, getting Xavier Thomas the football on the edge, on the perimeter. You see it once again. We saw it on 4th down earlier. Different play design, but trying to get him his speed on the perimeter. Really well done by Bridges, knifing through and making that tackle.
Great balance on this drive by LSU. Ball wrapped up. Well, we've got a flag down, a pre-snap penalty, so that should back LSU up to make it 2nd and 13.
Ball start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So on their outstanding left tackle, Will Campbell. Well, coming up 7:45 Eastern tonight on SEC Network. Number 15, Texas A&M taking on New Mexico State. Also available on the ESPN app. Texas A&M, a 2-loss team because of the loss to Notre Dame, but only 1 loss in conference play and tied for 1st with Tennessee and Texas.
They've had an excellent year, first season for Mike Elko, and right there at the top of the standings in the SEC this last final push.
In the backfield, making the tackle on Durham immediately was Sapp back at the 39. It'll bring up 3rd down and 15.
Well, Tyreek Sapp typically plays out on the edge. Watch him inside. He's working on the redshirt freshman Mubinga because Garrett Dellinger not there. He just comes inside immediately and creates a negative play. He's rolling dice. He's rolling 7s and 11s on that big 2nd down stop.
And you mentioned Dellinger's 2nd straight game he's missed because of an injury. He's a key player in that offensive line.
Kyron Lacey. Bottom of your screen.
And no targets to him yet. Nussmeier looking the other way. Comes back and dumps it off across the middle to Josh Williams. And it's only a gain of 5. But that does get them into field goal range on 4th down and 10. Damian Ramos's career long is 48. And this will be around 50, 51.
He was great at Arkansas, 4 of 4. Had struggles against Texas A&M. And bounced back with a good performance a week ago against Alabama.
This would be a career-long 51-yard field goal try to get LSU on the board. It's no good. Well, Florida had a couple of guys jump over the offensive line, and you have to wonder if that distracted Ramos. That thing started right and stayed right, and it remains 7-0 Florida.
Well, you referenced it, Dave, right there in the middle. Hop over the offensive line, get the hand up. You get a tighter look at that. Brian Kelly wasn't happy about that. That ball just never has much of a chance as Ramos looks down. Billy Napier loves what he's seen from his defense here in this first quarter. Big bouncing back performance from the Gators defense after some real struggles a week ago in Austin.
Florida takes over on its 34-yard line. DJ Lagway with a touchdown pass on his last possession. They'll keep it on the ground on first down. Ball breaks a tackle, stays in bounds, takes out a defender, and gets a first down. Ball is 235 pounds, and he put that muscle on display there for a 12-yard gain.
So physical, and he has brought a different element to this offense. And watch him as he meets Gilbert. Boom! With a big shot. You know what they say, Dave, you better get off the tracks when the train's coming through. Jaden Ball running with some physicality to close out this first quarter.
He was recruited initially by Florida as a linebacker. He looked like a linebacker delivering the hit on that play. This presentation of college football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. You're watching the SEC on ABC. Presented by Burger King. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor back in the swamp. Florida leads number 22 LSU 7-0. And the Gators moving the ball again on the Tiger defense. They do get some reinforcements. More on that a little bit. A couple of guys that, due to disciplinary reasons, did not play in the first quarter. Trying to set up the screen to Ball, and it's incomplete. Moments ago, Taylor with Brian Kelly.
Coach, what has to happen to slow down this version of Florida's offense?
Well, we got beat twice in man-to-man coverage. So, you know, it's the one-on-one matchups. We got to win some of the one-on-one matchups. Other than that, you know, we haven't executed offensively. We've had the ball on the perimeter 3 times, and we've missed blocks on the perimeter. Yeah, listen, we got to execute. We've had the ball. We've had good drives. We're running the ball effectively. Now we got to make some plays on defense when we get into man.
Thank you, Coach. Dave?
And they do make a play on defense, and it's Braden Swinson. He was one of the 2 players that did not play in the first quarter for not meeting team standards. He's one of the top pass rushers in the SEC.
So good to get him back. You're going to see him from the backside. The front side does a really good job forcing Jaden Ball to try to cut back. But a nice job by Swinson being home, getting his hands on him, and to the count where he gets there to set up 3rd and long for DJ Lagway. Blake Baker loves to dial up exotic pressures, but Braden Swinson, after having to sit this entire first quarter, he's going to be chomping at the bit to get after the quarterback on this 3rd down.
Lagway's pass caught, but an immediate hit at midfield. Boardingham on the catch. Alexander was there for LSU, and now it's 4th down and 6, and Florida will punt the football. The other player, we should mention this, Sage Ryan, along with Swinson, did not play in that first quarter. Ryan is the guy that has the green dot. He means he's got the communication system for the defensive coordinator to talk to him, but obviously Swinson is the more important player in terms of production this year, and already a factor. Forcing a Florida punt by Crawshaw with Thomas deep for LSU. And a short punt, and the fair catch made at the 16. All right, from a guy that used to have long blonde hair and play nose tackle to now a sharp, well-dressed broadcaster, Dusty's defensive dudes.
We dive into the tape and we find the dudes of the game, and it's Braden Swinson. His hands, and as a pass rusher, he is absolutely elite. And Aaron Gates, we saw Aaron Gates with a big third down already. His versatility, playing multiple positions on the back end, and the explosiveness that he brings to this Gators defense has really helped elevate them here the last couple of weeks.
LSU starting this drive at its 16-yard line, and here is ball between the tackles. Out to about the 24-yard line, Caden Durham, the ball carrier, a gain of about 8 for Durham. John Emery was the guy considered to be the #1 back, but out for the season with a knee injury. So we're seeing Durham, Josh Williams, Jawan Johnson, a converted quarterback, has been getting some reps of late at running back for LSU. Durham again on 2nd and short. Grabbed by big Des Watson short. 3rd down coming up. Taylor.
Miles Frazier is in the locker room with a right ankle injury. So right now they have 71 Tyree Adams, the redshirt freshman, in at right guard. They've been having trouble hearing the checks at the line of scrimmage. It is very loud in here. So something to pay attention to with youth on the offensive line at right guard, guys.
That's a great report, Taylor. And remember, we've already got another redshirt freshman in at left guard with Dillinger out. 2 inexperienced guards in there on the interior of that offensive line.
And you need those guys in a rundown situation on 3rd and 1. They pitch it to the outside. Maybe that's why. And looks like Durham has the 1st down. Bridges on the stop. Is that why you take it to the perimeter there? A little worried about those guys inside?
Absolutely. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's a really good job. They pull Emory Jones out on the right side and just allow Caden Durham to get to the edge, to get to the perimeter. It's when he's at his best.
And Josh Williams now in at running back. Nussmeier's only thrown for 42 yards. They've run for more yardage, about 60 here in the first half. Nussmeier to throw. Clean pocket, takes a shot downfield, and incomplete. Trying to hit Chris Hilton Jr. We still have not seen Kyron Lacey targeted at all in this game. Sharif Denson in coverage downfield.
And this, just a mistimed jump by Hilton down the field. He jumps a little bit too soon. You see a grab too by Denson. There's a lot of contact there, preventing Hilton from going up and getting that football. No flag thrown. And Brian Kelly giving his receiver an earful.
See if they can try to get it to Lacey. Brian Kelly looks like he's telling Hilton the same thing you just were. Again, no targets yet for their best receiver, Lacey, who's number 3 in the conference in catches and receiving yards. And LSU has to call its 2nd timeout. They called the timeout earlier on 4th down. Now, with the play clock winding down in 2nd and 10, Nussmeier has to burn another. Miami had been living dangerously. They don't have a great win. They get beat by Georgia Tech. Look at Georgia, who they play, and their 2 losses. They only have 1 loss more than Miami. It still feels to me like they should be ahead of the Hurricanes if you just look at their schedule and who they've beat and who they've lost.
Fair enough. Hey, you have every right to your opinion. I can assure you, if they beat Tennessee tonight in Athens, they'll be ahead of Miami. Big 3rd down here for LSU as this crowd comes to life once again.
Nussmeier, with everybody covered, takes off. Boy, he had a lot of green in front of him, but he still gets a 1st down by finding Josh Williams, his check down, and that will move the sticks out to the 38-yard line.
With deep zone drops at the 2nd level of this linebacking core, there's a lot of space. This is really smart by Garrett Nussmeier. I thought he was going to run with it. He locates Josh Williams, puts it on his hands. Nice run after the catch, and a big pickup on 3rd and long.
George Gums with a little pressure to force Nussmeier to scramble. Garrett Nussmeier, redshirt junior quarterback, started out here in Gainesville. His father, Doug, was the offensive coordinator at Florida from 2015 to 2017. And here's Williams. And he gets maybe a yard. There's a point where a lot of people were talking about Nussmeier being in the Heisman conversation, but 5 interceptions and a lost fumble in the last 2 games. And now it's just come down to Is he been given too much information? And talking with Brian Kelly this week said he needs to be better mechanically, better with his fundamentals, but we have to help him as coaches, give him less to think about, less communication. Before that play clock hits 15 and you can't talk anymore to the QB. Nussmeier's pass caught. Kyron Lacy dropped the ball. They're ruling it incomplete. Lacy's first target. He got hit hard and could not hang on to the football. It'll bring up third down.
With Bryce Thornton, excellent job coming down. Reads this perfectly. And he's going to get a great shot on Kyron Lacy. Just a shallow cross over the middle of that mesh concept. And Bryce Thornton reads it the whole way. And a big hit on one of the SEC's best wide receivers. Mentioned Mason Taylor in these spots. Sure-handed tight end. Really understands space so well.
Four-man rush. Nussmeier dumps it off. Williams again. Close to a first down. Wrestles through an arm tackle and appears to have it at the 48-yard line. Boy, Josh Williams available across the middle. They're not covering the check down. He's got a handful of catches.
Well, the linebackers getting so much depth in their zone drops. And once again, smart play by Nussmeier just to check it down.
They go back to Williams now on the run. And he crosses midfield for about 3.
And sometimes it's okay to take singles, Dave. You know, you don't always have to hit triples or hit a home run. That's just smart, good quarterbacking by the veteran Garrett Nussmeier.
And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. The turnovers come sometimes for forcing it too much.
That's exactly right. Not there down the field, check it down, and good things happen.
Florida might be bringing pressure here, so Nussmeier checking out of it. Play clock inside of 10 seconds. Already had to burn a couple timeouts here in the first half. Now they back away, Florida does. Nussmeier from the pocket. Got a man. It's caught a first down. And there's Mason Taylor around the 30-yard line. Close to 20 yards on that play.
Well, really good. And as you referenced, Garrett Nussmeier saw they were going to be hugged up. Now, they didn't bring the pressure, but the linebacker, Derek Wingo, gets caught inside. Nice 7 route there by Mason Taylor. Another nice pickup for a first down.
Durham thrown back. Big hit by Cam Jackson, the nose tackle. Just a 1-yard run.
You know, one thing about this Florida front, when you watch them, they are massive, man. Cam Jackson, 6'6", 340. Caleb Bake, 6'6", 325. We saw Desmond Watson earlier. He's over 440. Just have so much size and length along the front of this Gator defensive line.
You said as big as you've ever seen, right, in terms of a group?
Have you ever seen anyone bigger than that?
No, it's the biggest I've ever seen as a group, too. And a dangerous pass. They were trying to set up the screen, but it was read beautifully by Pyburn. Oh, boy, Jack Pyburn, we talked with him yesterday. He's got an edge. He brought up to us how LSU had been talking a lot this week about trying to run it at him, and Pyburn was ready for that screen pass.
They read it perfectly. Well, you want to talk about a guy that is serious from here locally in Jacksonville. He bleeds Gator blood, and he was fired up, excited about the opportunity to take on LSU here today.
And they haven't really run it at Florida. At least not initially. Doing better on this drive, and that's why they're in this position. But 3rd and 9. Nussmeier hit as he throws, and he still completes it. Touchdown, Aaron Anderson. My goodness, what a play by Nussmeier as his arm got hit right when he released the football. You can see why Mel Kiper has him number 4 on his list of quarterbacks.
Okay, watch this stutter. Freeze right here. He just, whenever he stutters, you can go ahead and roll it, guys. The stutter from Aaron Anderson, it freezes Denson. Nobody in the middle of the field. Both safeties working outside. And how about the pocket presence and toughness of Nussmeier? Step up in that pocket, know he's going to take a shot and deliver a dime for a big touchdown.
Ramos trying to tie the school record for consecutive made extra points. And he does. That's 118 in a row, matching Cade York's LSU record, and that ties the game at 7.
Boy, Aaron Anderson has had a great year, and what a first half. You see the stutter, he freezes Denson, and a dime from Nussmeier. We're all tied here in the Swamp.
And welcome back to Gainesville. Time now for an Aflac trivia question. When was the last time Florida won an SEC championship? If you're under 30, you may not know. I'm assuming most college football fans over 30 probably remember.
Let's take a look at this touchdown. Safety's going to bail. Watch the route, the stutter, and then middle of the field for Aaron Anderson. And Sharif Denson, he's going to get caught. As soon as he stutters, watch Denson sit down. Middle of the field's open. And how about this from Nussmeier? Stepping up in the pocket, knows he's going to take the hit, and just delivers an absolute dime. That's outstanding quarterback play by Garrett Nussmeier.
22nd touchdown pass for Nussmeier, second best in the SEC. Touchback will come out to the 25 for the Gators. Kick off your Week 11 NFL Sunday with the Countdown Crew. Meet the coach who inspires Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern, ESPN and the app. And then Troy Aikman back in Dallas along with Joe Buck for our Monday Night Football game between two teams struggling right now. Dallas lost 4 in a row. Houston lost 2 in a row. 8 Eastern, ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, Peyton and Eli once again on ESPN2. Lagway to throw, and a short pass to his tight end for a first down. It's Tony Livingston, gain of 13. First time since 2017, Florida has started 3 quarterbacks. Graham Mertz, transfer from Wisconsin in his 6th year, started the season. And then he got hurt, so Lagway started week 2. Then they started to rotate the 2 until Mertz was lost for the season. But then Lagway got hurt. So walk-on Aiden Warner started last week as they pitch it here to Jackson on first down. And he's ridden to the turf after a gain of 1 by Greg Penn III. Warner struggled last week in a loss to Texas. Lagway back on the field. And as Taylor reported at the top of the telecast, in case you weren't with us at that time, he's got this apparatus on his leg which keeps him from being able to run full speed because he's not 100%. Lagway to the air on 2nd and 9. And dumping it off, Jackson stays in bounds and close to a first down. And the news about Billy Napier giving the vote of confidence by the athletic director was big, according to DJ Lagway, when we talked to him yesterday.
You can tell there's a great relationship between Billy Napier, DJ Lagway. Napier, the first to offer DJ Lagway before he became a big 5-star.
Here's Jackson, bottled up, got the first down, though.
Before he became a big 5-star recruit, and that relationship, it stayed. And as Lagway continued to blossom, continued to grow, turned into the #1 quarterback coming out, he stayed true to his commitment to Billy Napier. Loves this offense, loves the coach, playing for him, the development he's seen of quarterbacks under Billy Napier. Impressive to talk to DJ Lagway and the work he's put into play here today. Inspiring for this football team.
Pitch to Montrell Johnson with room and close to a first down. We asked Lagway if he voiced his opinion to the athletic department about his opinion to Scott Strickland, the athletic director. He said no. We talked with Strickland. He said the players actually didn't come forward, but he could sense, being at practice, that they believed and trusted in their head coach. And that's a big reason he stayed, as Lagway's pass is knocked down by Alexander. Incomplete.
Nice job by Zay Alexander, climbing the ladder, coming up top, using this left hand to come in and swipe this football away. Going to go up top to the 6'4" Marcus Burke. It's good defense once again by the talented LSU corner.
Montrell Johnson on the pitch. Down to about the 34, so a pickup of 4 on the play, tackled by Braden Swinson.
Well, it's good just to see Montrell Johnson back out there. He's had to miss last several games. Had that ankle injury against Tennessee. Thought he'd be able to give it a go here today. They've leaned a lot on Jackson and Ball, but nice to get Montrell Johnson back in the fold.
Johnson leaving the backfield, so empty set on 3rd and 6.
DK, but a 3rd down target. Comfort blanket for DJ Lagway.
Already completed a 3rd down pass to DK in the first quarter, and now a timeout by Billy Napier with the play clock at 4. We'll step away. 4:16 to go at a tie game late in the first half. The Taco Bell Live Más student section here in the Swamp. All season long, student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más student section of the year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more.
A lot of options here for Billy Napier. You can run it and have this as 4-down territory. Obviously put the hand in Lagway, put the ball in Lagway's hand. And for LSU, Blake Baker loves to dial up pressures. Whit Weeks, the linebacker, typically add him to the rush. I'd expect he's coming to try to count for Lagway.
Lagway dumps it off to Mizell, and Mizell is going to come up about 3 yards short. It would be a 49-yard field goal try from here, and Billy Napier very comfortable with Trey Smack from this range. Made a 53-yarder earlier this season and a 54-yard field goal last year.
Given how good your kicker's been for you, and we're talking to him yesterday, to your point, Dave, loves his kicker, complete trust. He's going to put it on his foot here to try to regain the lead.
LSU missed a field goal earlier. 49-yard attempt. Boy, that thing did not move. It started right down the middle and ended there, and Florida leads it 10-7.
Boy, Trey smacked that thing through the uprights, Dave Pash. That was true and deep. Man, you can't hit it much better than that. Well struck and well done from Trey Smack. Always feels good to get a little head bump from an offensive lineman.
All right, let's answer the Affleck trivia question. When was the last time Florida won the SEC championship? I feel like if you're over 30, you should get this one.
Well, it says national champions over on the side here at the Swamp. Last national championship, 2008. I think the last time they won the championship was the last time they won the SEC.
Correct. 2008. Beat Alabama 31-20. That was an SEC title that led to their second national title in 3 years under Urban Meyer, and they've gone through 4 different coaches since. Will Muschamp, Jim McElwain, Dan Mullen, and now Billy Napier.
8 SEC championships, 13 trips to the SEC championship game. Second best in the history of the conference, and that's the expectation of the one that these fans have for this football program.
In the field of play, Thomas past the 10. And Florida covers that kick very well. He stopped at about the 20-yard line. I mentioned the coaches that have come since Urban Meyer stepped away, joined us for a year, and then went to Ohio State where he won more national championships. Will Muschamp, 7 games above 500, but only lasted 4 years. Jim McElwain, 10 above 500, only lasted 3 years. Dan Mullen, 19 games above 500 in 2 bowl wins, but after 4 years, made a decision to make a move, and Billy Napier was hired from Louisiana. LSU trailing. Just 1 timeout. They will get the benefit of the 2-minute timeout. The official stoppage. Great balance that time. Durham breaking a tackle. And then the extra yardage after contact out to the 38-yard line.
With another Caden Durham. This now gap scheme, little counter pullback, and this is poorly done on the edge by 13 Aaron Gates, a guy that I highlighted. He's got to be able to make that tackle. He's right there in position. You've got to be able to get the running back on the ground. But another nice piece of running by Caden Durham. Such a good job of making that initial defender miss. And a nice run to start this drive.
He averages about 58 yards per game on the ground. He's already at 54. Nussmeier to throw to the sideline. And the catch is made by Taylor and pushed out of bounds. We're still outside 2 minutes, so the clock will continue to run after that 7-yard gain.
But Mason Taylor just so smart, so savvy as a route runner. He's really dialed it in. And Garrett Nussmeier, you can just feel the comfort and the timing so good between those two.
4 catches already for Taylor. That ties the school record at LSU for catches by a tight end, along with Thaddeus Moss at 47. As that 2-minute timeout comes with LSU on the move, trailing by 3 here in Gainesville. Let's take a look at coverage where it counts, presented by T-Mobile 5G home internet.
Well, this Florida secondary, it's been banged up all year. Question, how would they hold up today? They've been good. They've done a nice job corralling these receivers. Garrett Nussmeier, a lot of times he's had nowhere to go with the football. They'll need to lean on that coverage here to close out this first half against Garrett Nussmeier and the Tigers passing attack.
By the way, Miles Frazier, the right guard, you just saw him there a moment ago. He's back on the field. That's big at right guard. And they run Williams here, and they get the first down. They'll stop the clock to reset the chains. They also have 2 timeouts that they've burned, so just 1 left for LSU.
And you start to wonder, do we start to see a sense of urgency now for Garrett Nussmeier, who's really good running the 2-minute offense? And they're going to pick up the pace here as the clock gets closer to a minute and a half left.
See the numbers for Nussmeier. He's second in the SEC in passing yards a game. Josh Williams to the 47 for 5. Minute and a half and counting.
Garrett Nussmeier so comfortable operating in this setting. Get the play called quickly.
Nussmeier to the air. It was high, but pulled down by Mason Taylor, and he gets out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. First down at the 40-yard line of Florida.
Well, this is what catch radius looks like. Watch Mason Taylor climb the ladder, go up those strong hands, bring it in, and get out of bounds. Well-executed play to move the change and stop the clock.
No catches for Kyron Lacey. Only 1 target in this game. Play clock inside of 5 seconds. And they're going to run it to Durham. Inside the 40, stayed in bounds. LSU doesn't want to use a timeout, but it's going to take some time to get lined up again here.
A little surprised by that.
Now the clock stops. Checking with Kevin Agandi.
Dave, Capital One halftime report minutes away. Booger McFarland, Kevin Agandi here in studio. Highlights of Ohio State. Travis Hunter looking really good for Colorado, the Heisman frontrunner. What do you think of this drive so far for LSU?
The ball's coming out of Garrett Nussmeier's hands quick. They're trying to run the football, but LSU needs to get points. Florida gets the ball to start the second half.
All right, Dave, let's go back to you in the swamp.
Penalty player came off. That stops the clock. Please reset the game clock to 59 seconds. LSU is declining. The 10-second runoff. The clock will start on the snap.
I couldn't hear exactly what happened, but LSU electing to decline the 10-second runoff. They want to make sure they have enough time and keep that time out. So 2nd and 7. Brian Kelly wasn't sure why the clock had stopped there. Here's the pass by Nussmeier, and it's underthrown, intended for Anderson. Now the clock stopped. 56 seconds left. Let's go ahead and bring in Bill Lamonier, our rules expert. What happened on that last clock stoppage, Bill?
Well, there was a player that had his helmet come off, and the clock was running, so that automatically stops the clock. And because we're under 1 minute, the opposing team gets the option of a 10-second runoff, which they obviously don't want. And then they also get the option of, do you want the clock on the snap or they're ready for play? So that was their choice.
Thank you, Bill. Nussmeier to throw. And it's caught by Lacey, a first down. His first catch of the day. He's trying to get out of bounds, and he does. At about the 25-yard line at 47 seconds left.
But the timing of this is so good. This ball's out right as he gets his break. How about the concentration and strong hands by Lacey? That ball's underthrown and low. Works back to that football, gets it and gets out of bounds. Great play by Kyron Lacey.
And now a timeout by Florida. Deshaun Johnson looks like he's shaken up.
Florida.
That leaves the Gators with one. LSU has one timeout as well. Keep in mind that LSU missed a 51-yard field goal attempt earlier. Right now they're at the 25 with a fresh set of downs. So a lot of options here in terms of play calling for LSU in this position.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, they're going to put the ball in Garrett Nussmeier's hands. Good for Kyron Lacey to finally get in the flow here. Anderson has had a huge first half, as has Mason Taylor. And that's part of the problem when you play this LSU team. They have so many places Nussmeier can go with the football. With that timeout, no need to get in too big of a rush. They got a lot of options here with 47 seconds to play.
It's really interesting, Dusty. We talked about Brian Kelly's message when we spoke with him this week about making things easier as coaches on Garrett Nussmeier, and they have so far in this game. He's not put the ball in harm's way, really. The run game has been a factor today. That certainly helped Nussmeier, as it would any quarterback.
Aaron Anderson has had such a big first half. He's working on Gates. It's like man-to-man.
Bad snap. Nussmeier just grounds it. That play blew up from jump. Cameron James was in the backfield immediately, and bad snap. And Nussmeier was not going to risk throwing it to Durham.
Well, it's heads up there by Garrett Nussmeier. Just get that right hand on. That was hot. That was high. He avoids a disaster and grounds the football.
And just one timeout left for LSU. Nussmeier to the air. Pressure, and Nussmeier sacked back at the 32 by Shamar James, and they might be out of field goal range right now.
And they're not going to take their timeout right now. Garrett Nussmeier getting everybody to the line of scrimmage. They're going to save the timeout, 3rd and long. You don't have to get the first down, just better field goal range if you're Garrett Nussmeier.
And the pass is incomplete, intended for Taylor. So the clock is stopped with 15 seconds left. And Damian Ramos, who missed a 51-yard try earlier, will have one close to that play to the second quarter.
Well, what a sequence for Shamar James. Let's go back to the second down. Sacked and pushed him back. He's going to come off the edge. Watch him work right through Josh Williams. Dips, throws him to the side, gets to the quarterback. Then he gets the pass breakup on a big 3rd down, anticipates that route, sets up this field goal to try to tie the game.
This one's good to tie it up at 10. A career-long 50-yard field goal by Damian Ramos.
That's got to be good for the confidence of Ramos. He had that miss earlier, going the other direction. He drills that one. And the fist pump from Brian Kelly as we're all tied with 10 seconds to play in the half.
And maybe the biggest play of that possession was Garrett Nussmeier grounding that football, not risking it, because turnovers have been a big problem. I'm sure LSU fans are tired of us talking about it, but 6 in the last 2 games, all on him for the most part. 5 picks in the lost fumble. But on the bad snap from the center, DJ Chester, he just threw it in the dirt at the feet of his running back with pressure in his face.
Smart, clean football in the first half for Garrett Nussmeier. That's exactly what the focus was coming into today. Good execution by the junior quarterback.
And Burrell hammers this one through the end zone for a touchback. Well, coming up right here on ABC, when this game is over, we will send you between the hedges for Tennessee and Georgia. And right now you got Tennessee, A&M, and Texas all with one loss in conference play. And then you got a handful of teams with 2 losses. Georgia is one of those teams. And Dylan Sampson with Nico healthy and going in this game, but battling injury. Dylan Sampson maybe becomes even bigger tonight.
And we were in Knoxville last week. Boy, Dylan Sampson is impressive. So tough to bring down. They lean on that run game. They lean on that defense. It's going to be a fun game tonight in Athens, Georgia.
Lagway takes a knee. The first half comes to an end. The game tied at 10. LSU trying to keep SEC title hopes alive. And here's Taylor with Coach Kelly.
Thank you, Coach. What will be your message to Garrett Nussmeier at halftime?
Keep playing. Keep playing. I mean, he's doing a nice job. He's let us down there a couple of times. We've had some, tough opportunities that he's converted, made some good throws. Just keep playing. We got a long way to go.
What did you think about the way your defense operated in the first half?
I mean, obviously 10-10 ball game. I mean, it's going to be a tight game. It's the SEC. You got 2 teams that want to get a win, and got to keep playing.
Thank you, Coach. Dave.
But a good question on the defense, especially the rush defense. Only 52 yards allowed in that first half. On the other side of the break, it's the Capital One halftime report. This presentation of college football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
This is the Google Pixel 9, and this is what trash talk used to look like.
This halftime report is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
The time has come. Two larger-than-life legends collide.
John Jones is the heavyweight champion of the world. Stipe is the most successful heavyweight of all time.
And the world will be watching.
Promise a better fight you're going to see tonight compared to last night. Hey, maybe we're going to have a fight in prime time with bitter rivals number 7 Tennessee on the road in Athens to take on number 12 Georgia. That game coming your way in just over 2 hours here on ABC. Garrett Nussmeier on the road. Aaron Anderson.
Nussmeier's got to throw the football within 2.7 seconds. His QBR is 77. Kev, got to get it out quick.
I love the numbers. Florida tied up with LSU.
Between Florida and number 22 LSU in the swamp. They've met 54 consecutive years. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor down on the field. Really an elimination game for LSU in terms of getting to the SEC championship and into the college football playoff. They wanted fewer mistakes from their offense. They got that, Dusty, but 20 minutes, they only got 10 points.
Yeah, look, they possessed the football a lot in that first half, and a big reason, third downs. Garrett Nussmeier was fantastic. 7 of 8 on third down in that first half, 5 first downs, playing keep away, but you're exactly right. They can't keep settling for field goals. Going to have to figure out a way in the second half to convert those and to get in the end zone.
Made a field goal at the end of the half from 50 yards, missed a 51-yarder earlier in the half. Florida will get the ball to start the second half.
We didn't see this offense for Florida with the ball much in the first half. Only 21 plays run by DJ Lagway and the Gators.
Be a touchback. Time now for our player check-in, presented by Allstate.
Well, let's check in with these quarterbacks. DJ Lagway, he's pushing through and he's playing. And the young talented freshman, a perfect play on display. Elijah Badger will double move, a little slant and go. He freezes that corner, stamps. And look at the location. Ball on the outside shoulder away from the defender. And how about this on third down? So good. Middle of the field's wide open. The stutter freezes the defender Denson. And with a defender in his face, Garrett Nussmeier, a dime down the field to Aaron Anderson.
DJ Lagway, 7 of 12 passing, 99 yards and a touchdown, not 100%. Hamstring injury cost him last week's game, but he is out there. He'll throw on first down, and it's complete across the middle. Beautiful moves at the 40. And out near the 45-yard line is Elijah Badger. Here's Taylor.
Well, you guys talked about it, third down being the issue, and that's what Billy Napier made very clear to me at half. He said 8 of 12. We have to do a better job of getting in Garrett Nussmeier's face. But he said he's doing a good job of checking it down to their running back, so we have to be able to match up there. And then as for DJ Lagway, he said we need explosive explosive plays. When they're giving us limited possessions, we have to take advantage, guys.
Here's Shaden Ball wrapped up after a gain of 1. We did see Lagway push it down the field on that touchdown, and he's among the FBS leaders in completion percentage of passes 20 yards or more. But there's what you're talking about. Half the number of plays that LSU has run, averaging almost double yards per play what LSU had. Just got to possess the ball, and they had some penalties early on, but they've cleaned things up since. Just the 4th career start for the true freshman DJ Lagway, the #1 recruit a year ago. Pressure on. Lagway steps up, flips it deep over the head of DK. Incomplete. 3rd and 9.
Well, Braden Swinson shot out of a cannon coming off the edge. We talked about him as a pass rusher. Watch him just dip and get around Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon, who's yet to give up a sack, but he forces this errant throw. Lagway cannot take off and run in this game. Very limited with that hamstring. Had to climb in the pocket and just live to fight another day here on this 3rd down. It was DK, the 3rd down target in the first half. We'll see if he goes back to 17.
Pressure up the middle. Lagway rushed the throw. Incomplete. Trying to hit Badger with pressure from Savion Jones. Zy Alexander had the coverage. So back-to-back pressures by LSU.
And once again, Zy Alexander is in good position. No, he just turns around to locate the football and tries to backpedal and falls down. A little hand fighting down the field, but both guys kind of jockeying for position there with their hands.
You see anything different in terms of why they got pressure the last 2 plays?
Yeah, because Braden Swinson on that 2nd down was shot out of a cannon and just beat the tackle out of his stance.
And then Jones on 3rd down was able to get right in the face as well of the quarterback Lagway. Crawshaw. And Thomas with the fair catch around the 10-yard line. 3 one-loss teams atop the SEC in terms of losses in conference, and Texas is one of those. They have 1 loss overall. That's why they have a 72% chance. It's interesting, Tennessee has only 1 loss overall, yet they have only a 30% chance behind Alabama. LSU still with a chance, 11%, but 3 losses. There is a path for them to get to the SEC championship. If they win it, they would get the automatic bid. Hard to imagine a 3-loss team getting an at-large bid, even from the SEC. 1st down on the 10, and they hand it off here. Durham trying to find room, and does for about 3.
But not much there initially. See Caden Durham showing some patience, just trying to locate something. It's a decent pickup there on 1st down. Again, back to the 1st down, running the football. And an opening half that was just owned time of possession-wise by the Tigers.
But again, just the 10 points to show for it. Now 2nd and 7. Play action. Nussmeier hit from behind. The ball is fumbled inside the 10-yard line. Chopped out by Caleb Banks. No signal yet as to who recovered it. Paul Mabenga, the left guard, was there for LSU to avoid disaster for the Tigers. Nussmeier a little shaken up, holding his throwing hand.
Well, let's watch Caleb Banks. He's just going to work inside right here. And you touched on it. It's Mabenga, but it's also DJ Chester. That center's got to get help. He's got to get help to his guard there as Banks, with a great pressure and getting the ball out. LSU fortunate to retain possession.
Nussmeier, meanwhile, you just saw it a moment ago. He's holding his right arm. He's grabbing his elbow, then his forearm. Going to have to throw it here on 3rd and 12. Instead, they run it, and a big lane for Williams to get the 1st down. You wonder, were they calling that regardless, or if they noticed that Nussmeier's throwing arm was bothering him, and so they just handed it off.
Well, there's an excellent double team on 94 Tyreek Sapp, and you see the physical run by Josh Williams finishing that off. What an excellent pickup on 3rd and 12. You just kind of wonder, is it a funny bone thing? Is he just maybe lose feeling for a second, or is there something more wrong currently with Garrett Nussmeier?
Yeah, you still see him wiggling it. He's going to throw it, though, on 1st down. Steps up, takes a shot deep, and he overthrew an open man. He had Chris Hilton Jr., but overshot him by about 5 yards.
think the arm's okay. Plenty of arm strength on that one. We go back and look at Caleb Banks coming over. He rakes that right arm.
The pin underneath.
Yeah, did. He's grabbing that thing. Something to monitor and keep an eye on. Great shots there by our camera crew.
Josh Williams again up the gut. This time he gets smacked at the 26-yard line. A short gain. You had Miles Graham, a true freshman, in there. His dad, Ernest, played here at Florida. So Miles grew up in the Gainesville area. Actually went to the same high school, Buckholz, as Garrett Nussmeier did. When Nussmeier was a freshman, while his dad was coaching here at Florida, now Nussmeier facing a 3rd and long.
Mason Taylor had some key catches in the first half. Top of your screen.
5 catches on 7 targets. Blitz coming. Nussmeier in trouble, backing up, and completes it though. First down, Anderson. Boy, Aaron Anderson has been the go-to guy in key situations for Nussmeier today.
The route is just so good here by Aaron Anderson. Knows they have man-to-man coverage. He's matched up with Aaron Gates. And comes open, and a good late find by Garrett Nussmeier. Really well done on 3rd down.
6 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown. Aaron Anderson had the game-tying touchdown and a win against Ole Miss. Remember, this drive started inside the LSU 10. Here's Durham powering out past the 45-yard line. A gain of close to 7 before Graham makes another Florida tackle.
Another nice piece of running on 1st down. Gap scheme run, counter, full backside guard tackle. Good physicality at the point. A great start to this ball game for the true freshman, Caden Durham.
LSU trying to end a 2-game skid. Only the 2nd time under Brian Kelly. They've lost consecutive games. They have not lost 3 in a row since 2021 when they had a losing season. Durham again off the right side. Gets a first down as he stumbles toward midfield. Boy, Bridges and Pyburn saved a bigger play by getting Durham down to the ground.
The left side of the offensive line. I mean, everybody's just doing a great job. All 3 guys. It's 70 Miles Frazier. It's Emory Jones getting up to the 2nd level. See Mason Taylor kicking out Pyburn. Nice hole off the right side. And it was a point of emphasis coming into this game for LSU to establish the line of scrimmage and get back to running the football. Nice way to start this 2nd half.
Durham again running right, and look at that movement up front. Durham gets the first down. That offensive line for LSU starting to lean on Florida's D-line. That's a gain of 14.
Watch Emory Jones, so good. Same here with Mason Taylor. I mean, they're creating space. And after this play, Emory Jones, he gives a big fist pump. They're feeling it up front. I mean, when an offensive line starts to know that they've got a defense on their heels, they want you to keep dialing up runs. And this LSU offensive line, they're feeling good about the way this drive is going.
Frazier banged up earlier, 5th-year senior, but he's back out there. Nussmeier on the drop back, steps up, launches it deep into the end zone, knocked down, incomplete. Hilton was the intended target. Castell was backpedaling and knocked the ball down.
Well, they run it, try to set up the play action and dial up a deep shot to the speedster, Chris Hilton. And this is very well done in the back end by Jordan Castell. Times his jump perfectly, gets that right arm up, and gets the pass break up.
We've seen Hilton targeted a bunch on deep balls. Remember, he's been banged up, but back to 100%. They really like him as a target down the field. Again, Kyron Lacey, only 2 targets, 1 catch. Will we see him get involved? Instead, they run it again downhill between the tackles. Williams breaks free inside the 15 and finally dragged down by Denson. What a game for Josh Williams as a receiver as well as a runner.
Boy, it's really good by Miles Frazier off the right. Chester gets up to the 2nd level. And the LSU Tigers fans got to be loving what they're seeing on the ground to start this 2nd half. A lot of Caden Durham, Josh Williams mixing in as well.
Play 12 on this drive, which started at the LSU 10. Now at the Florida 14. A pitch to Williams this time, trying to get the edge, but can't. Slammed to the ground at the 15-yard line by Tyreek Sapp.
With Tyreek Sapp, he's playing inside a little bit more today. Watch him just get up the field. He's playing 3 technique, working on that guard, just gets vertical right now. Hands, gets off the block, and he makes the play in the backfield.
He's got 2 tackles for a loss in this game, 7 on the year. Second down and 11 for LSU. A near turnover by the Tigers inside their own 10, but they recovered the fumble by Nussmeier, and this drive is still alive. Durham on the cutback, didn't get much, maybe 2, bottled up. George Gums on the stop, brings up 3rd and long.
Florida's been good so far throughout this game. Been able to limit LSU to field goals, a big 3rd down. Here as this defense has been on its heels. Curious if Ron Roberts will dial up any pressure here to try to come after Garrett Nussmeier.
You mentioned a number of times Mason Taylor being the go-to guy in these situations.
There he is in the core.
Nussmeier looking the other way, over the middle, it's caught, and into the end zone. C.J. Daniels, his first touchdown of the season. It's a huge one as the Tigers have the lead for the first time today.
Pass interference, offense, number 2.
It comes back on the offensive pass interference. And it's against Kyron Lacey, setting a pick.
Anticipating man-to-man coverage. And defenders call it a pick. Offensive guys call it a rub. That's a pick, and it's a good call by the official.
So take the points off the board, and now it's going to be 3rd down and 19. Check that, 3rd and 24 at the 28-yard line.
I think you just want to be smart here if you're Garrett Nussmeier. Get some of that yardage back, get in a better position to set your field goal kicker up with a makeable field goal. Anderson in motion.
5-man rush. Nussmeier, his pass incomplete, trying to throw it underneath to Anderson. And now it'll be about a 46-yard try for Damian Ramos, who made a 50-yarder at the end of the first half, missed a 51-yarder in the first quarter.
And it looked like that's exactly what they were trying to do, just get some of that yardage back with Anderson underneath. And just a misfire by Garrett Nussmeier, is well protected by Josh Williams, stepping up, picking up that blitzer, but Nussmeier misses his intended target, setting up Ramos for a long field goal.
45-yard attempt to give LSU its first lead. And a bad snap. Great job by the holder to get that ball down, and the kick is gone. Boy, Peyton Todd on that errant snap snatched it, got it down quickly, and LSU takes a 13-10 lead. Bad snap by Roy, but Peyton Todd, the holder, saves the day.
I leave at 6:15 a.m.
Tuesday.
Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor back in the swamp. 13-10, LSU takes the lead, avoids disaster, a near turnover inside its 10. They end up getting 3 points thanks to a great job by the holder to get down a bad snap. LSU has now run 22 plays in Florida territory to just 7 for Florida in LSU territory. Yet it's only a 3-point advantage for the Tigers on the road with everything at stake. Still a chance to get to the SEC championship game for LSU. Obviously need to win out and get some help.
Balance of this LSU offense was a point to come in, and it's 50-50 after that drive.
Touchback, it will come out to the 25. Florida will operate trailing for the first time today when we come back to Gainesville.
The SEC on on ABC, presented by Burger King, is brought to you by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Be a 2%er. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply.
Batman begins here, actually, in Gainesville. They have the largest bat houses and bat conservatories in the United States.
That's awesome. Who was the best Batman?
What do you mean who's the best Batman? Christian Bale. It's not even close. Don't go Keaton on me. Don't go Keaton on me.
What are you talking about? Michael Keaton was a boss.
Florida back in offense, trailing by 3. DJ Lagway, 8 of 15 passing with a touchdown. Missed last week with a hamstring injury. Not at 100%. Got the start today, though. Pressure on, pass away, and that could have been caught by Badger, but he could not hang on. With Alexander in coverage, Savion Jones has been in the backfield a couple of times already here in the third quarter.
Yeah, big Savion Jones off the edge, unaccosted. You saw there, DJ Lagway dropped kind of 3 quarters. Unable to hit his intended target, Badger, and we've got a LSU Tiger down, Parashan.
Native of Toronto, Canada, started out at Arizona, transferred to LSU. As they look at him, we'll step away. LSU defensive lineman Parashan walked under his own power to the LSU bench. Hopefully he's okay. They've passed Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor here in the swamp. LSU has an 11% chance to reach the SEC title game with a win. Florida trying to get 2 wins and get bowl eligible in year 3 of the Billy Napier era, which will continue to year 4. LSU eliminated from the SEC championship with a loss. According to our analytics, as Lagway flips it downfield incomplete, trying to hit Badger. You've watched Lagway a bunch here have to move, step up, get out of the pocket. How much do you think that hamstring is an issue?
Oh, it hinders him. I'm not so sure he wouldn't have taken off and run right there. He had a lot of green grass out in front. But, you know, he told us this was an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for better pocket movement. Nice job there in the pocket as he steps up and misses his intended target, Elijah Badger.
Just 8 of 17 now. And 1 of 5 in the second half passing for Lagway.
Coming after him. But pressure from Blake Baker.
Lagway tosses complete for a first down. Stepping out is Badger at the 42 for a gain of 18.
Well, let's take a look with the AT&T connected cam. Good protection. A really nice job by 24. Jacoby Jackson stepping up, picking up that blitzer, allowing the time for Badger to come open, and a nice third down find from Lagway.
Lagway throwing again with pressure on, and what a dime! Complete to Badger down the sideline to the 34-yard line, 23 more yards. What a toss by Lagway.
Well, Ashton Stamp's going to be up at the line of scrimmage. He's going to try to press him. Watch this. Watch him win outside. At the line of scrimmage, you want to press a wide receiver, you better jam him and slow him down. Great release from Badger, and you touched on the dime from Lagway.
Lagway steps up, pressure on, gets rid of the pass complete as Jackson makes a move inside the 20. Finally knocked down at the 17. Gain of 17. Flag down, though, in the backfield.
Holding, offense, number 58. 7-yard penalty. First down.
And Austin Barber, the left tackle.
And that's a great matchup. Austin Barber's been a good left tackle this year. Savion Jones working over on him. And you see he grabs right there, Dave, right there above the numbers and the V of that neck, and he pulls straight down. And as Jones comes to the ground and draws the flag, it's a good call.
Although Napier didn't agree.
Brian Kelly loves the call. Billy Napier, not so much.
No, 1st and 20 now. LSU's been able to get to Lagway a handful of times here in the second half. They bring pressure again, and Lagway throws nearly an interception at the 38. Sage Ryan almost got to that one LSU's found something here. A lot of Lagway's passes under pressure have been off target.
Little zone drop here. They're going to drop out 35. Going to bring Penn and this other backer inside. They do not sort it out well enough. Penn comes clean, forces Lagway to throw off his back foot. He's lucky. That was nearly picked off by Sage Ryan. That's the Blake Baker effect. Dials up these different exotic blitzes. Little zone blitz there, well executed by LSU. Confusing the freshman quarterback on first down.
Got a whistle.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Now, penalties were an issue early. Florida cleaned it up, but now a couple of ones here after they got inside the red zone that cost them. They're back towards midfield. 2nd and 25. 6 penalties in all now on Florida. Gators at 4-5, 2-4 in conference play. Wins over Kentucky and Mississippi State. They lost in overtime to Tennessee. All 5 of their losses have been against teams in the top 15. Lagway to the air, 5-man pressure. Lagway's pass is caught at the 40-yard line by Badger and thrown down by Alexander. So they get about 8 or 9 of it back. 3rd and long.
Well, Elijah Badger just running very crisp routes there on the comeback. Man-to-man coverage over there from Alexander. Nice job just chipping away. That 2nd and 25, pick up about half of that. They're on 2nd down.
Keep in mind, Trey Smack has a couple of 54-yard made field goals in his career. This would be about a 54-yarder right from this spot. 3rd and 13.
Well, Badger's been the go-to guy. He's up top.
And the play clock at 1. And Billy Napier has to burn a timeout. Would have loved to have kept that for late game situation, but Lagway didn't see the play clock, and so his head coach had to bail him out.
30 seconds in length.
Growing pains of a true freshman quarterback.
That's exactly right. We saw the delay of game already on this drive, and Billy Napier, he comes over, he pats him on the head. He says, we're good. Just situational football. And obviously, here today, making his 4th start, he just hasn't been a lot of these high-pressure moments, high-pressure situations.
Let's check in with Taylor down on the field.
Where he really relies on Graham Mertz. He told us that he goes to Mertz to learn situational football. He said they want to be situational experts, but to your point, guys, he has not been in these situations, but Mertz has. He's trying to coach him up in these moments.
They've been roommates on the road. They're 5 years difference. Lagway's 19, Mertz is 24, but Lagway said, that's my guy. They become really close.
Even back early in the season, we had the Mississippi State game when they were kind of going back and forth. The way they handled that situation, I give Graham Mertz so much credit. Veteran guy, came back, the way he's handled everything that's gone on, and even after that tough injury that we saw against Tennessee, he's at every practice, he's in every meeting, he's doing whatever he can to help this football team and help the freshman DJ Lagway.
He tore his ACL in that Tennessee game. It's Lagway's show, and it's 3rd and 13 on the LSU 37. Lagway stepping up, now backing up, and throws incomplete. Jackson the intended target. And Billy Napier very comfortable with Trey Smack from this distance. Made a 49-yarder earlier in the game.
And the pressure from the edge. Watch Braden Swinson just win. He's going to force DJ Lagway to step up, and you can just tell, not 100%. Unable to move too much. He's trying to move to his left, trying to find an open target. But a really nice rush off the edge from Swinson.
This would be a career-long 53-yarder earlier this year, a pair of 54-yarders last year. And now from 55 to tie the game late in the 3rd. It's good. Trey Smack crushes another one, and we're all even at 13 apiece.
Absolutely drilled by Trey Smack. We talked yesterday with Billy Napier. He said he's good from the 40. They didn't have to push it that far back. True off the foot the entire way. Good snap, good hold, and a great kick from Trey Smack.
We mentioned it, Florida with the losses against top 15 teams. And in talking with Scott Strickland, the athletic director, before the game, after Strickland came out and gave the vote of confidence publicly to Billy Napier, he said, I just like the vibe. Obviously, I like Billy a lot, and we met with Billy. We talked to Billy Napier several times over the years. Class act, and obviously fans not happy with the way things have gone in terms of win-loss. That is completely understandable, but Strickland liked the vibe in practice. He thought the players were still all in. And look, the recruiting classes have been pretty good. The freshman, sophomore classes are excellent here, and they wanted Napier to have at least one more year.
Look, they got to the slow start at 1-2, and everybody was very upset. But this team, it didn't quit. It went to work. They've continued to improve. They had a big step back last week against Texas. But clearly, focus this week in practice, have shown up. And to your point, and just like Scott Strickland told us, this team plays for Billy Napier. They're stepping up and playing here once again, doing whatever they can to get back to a bowl game.
And we asked DJ Lagway, did you come here because of Billy Napier? He said, absolutely. He said, Napier is a quarterback developer, and I might not be here if not for Billy Napier. You have to think that, along with perhaps some other comments like that from the players, a big reason why he's still here.
Last drive, LSU had 9 rushes, 69 yards on the ground. I'd get back to running the football.
Nussmeier over the middle, tipped, incomplete. Aaron Childs got a hand on it. Otherwise, that was going to be a big play down the seam to the tight end.
Well, this is really good by Aaron Childs. He's going to get his zone drop. Watch him here. Just keep his, coming from right there. He's hugged up initially. He's showing that he's going to come. He bails, gets right in the throwing lane for Mason Taylor. That's really well done. Disguise, show your blitzing, bail, get right in the throwing lane and make a nice play.
They'll run it on second down. Durham out past the 30-yard line for a handful. Tackled by Tyreek Sapp. Bring it up third down.
Well, it's a big third down. And Garrett Nussmeier, he's been masterful a large part of the night. Anderson checking in the game. Between him and Mason Taylor, it's been the 2 go-to targets. And we've seen him check it down to 18. Josh Williams. I'm looking at number 1, Aaron Anderson, on this third down.
Nussmeier backing up, in trouble, steps up, wrapped up, and he lost the ball. It's picked up by an offensive lineman, Emory Jones, and a flag comes down as Jones is tackled at the 33-yard line. Then all of a sudden, Caleb Banks has the ball in his hands for Florida. The officials will try to sort this out. It's a turnover. It's Florida ball. Caleb Banks comes up with it inside the 35 of LSU.
Well, it's TJ Searcy who wins late. Gets off the block of Emory Jones. Reaches out. Comes, hits him. The ball's out. Emory Jones gets on the ball. He's running with it. And then he takes a shot. Ball's on the ground. And Caleb Banks recovers. You got to be more aware if you're Emory Jones. You're not a running back. You're an offensive tackle. And if you're going to run that football, you better put it away. He does it. And what a big momentum swinging play for the Florida Gators.
This has been the issue for LSU. Not protecting the football. 6 turnovers the last 2 games. Both losses. Nussmeier didn't protect it. And then his offensive lineman, Emory Jones, didn't protect it. And Florida benefits. Will have it inside the 35.
They take a shot after a takeaway. Sudden change.
First turnover by either team.
Elijah Badger has had a big night. Number 2 in college football coming into tonight, yards per reception.
And some movement by Florida pre-snap. They're having a lot of issues just getting lined up here in the third quarter. Seen multiple delay of games. You see the play clock at 0 again. We've seen false starts. We've seen live ball penalties as well.
False start. Offense. Number 11. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So that's on Mizell. It'll make it 1st and 15.
Mizell up top. Just flinches. Moves early. Drive Billy Napier and his staff crazy.
7th penalty on the Gators. And now Lagway's pass incomplete, intended for Badger again with Alexander in coverage. That is the 9th time they've targeted Badger. The majority of those here in the second half. He's got 5 catches on the day and a touchdown.
Well, Zy Alexander's been matched up a lot. The crowd's looking for, I'm surprised I didn't draw a flag. There's been a lot of pushing and shoving, but that time Alexander actually had a hold of the arm of Elijah Badger, but it doesn't draw the flag.
He's been targeted, Badger, now 8 times here in the third quarter alone. And they're going to run it. Ball wrapped up and slammed down. Braden Swinson, who did not play in the first quarter for disciplinary reasons, while he's been on the field, though, has made a ton of plays.
He's so good. Watch him set this edge. Say you set an edge, and you get off the block, and you make the play in the backfield. That's strong, that's physical, that's shedding. That's flat out making a play, setting up 3rd and super long for DJ Lagway. What a stop this would be for this defense after the fumble.
See if they just run the ball here to get positive yardage to give Smack a chance to give him the lead.
I expect her to dial up the pressure. And Braden Swinson, man, he's feeling it right now. He's up top off the edge.
Pass play, Lagway hit as he throws, incomplete through the hands of Mizell. Pressure from Savion Jones. Mizell looked like he could have caught that ball. And now you're looking at about a 60-yard field goal try from Trey Smack.
I think you punt it. I don't think you want to set up prime real estate. And he told us 40 was kind of the extent of where he felt comfortable. This ball's sitting right there on the 42. I think this makes sense. And what a stop for Blake Baker in this LSU defense.
The other side of it is Smack has got a hot hand. He's been burying the last 2 long balls, but they are going to punt it. Just made a career-high 55-yarder, but now Crawshaw on to punt. The Gators are down there, and they down it at the 8-yard line. Rocco Underwood, the long snapper, was waiting for it. Take a look at this week's college football rankings, playoff rankings, brought to you by Prudential. Maybe a sneaky game in Madison tonight for Oregon. Ohio State won easily. Texas suffers a test in Fayetteville. Penn State up big on Purdue.
Yeah, Texas was challenged today by Arkansas. The loss for Sam Pittman there at home. Notre Dame, they've been playing some really good football. Just crazy to think they lost week 2 to Northern Illinois. What a game coming up tonight. Georgia, Tennessee. It's going to be awesome.
That follows us here on ABC. Back to the ground game. A Florida helmet goes flying off. Jack Pyburn lost his lid. He's going to have to come out for a play. He's one of their better defensive players as Josh Williams picks up a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Well, it's good to see that Nico is playing tonight. We had the game last week where he got hurt, did not play in the second half, but good to go. 9-1 in his career as a starter. Between the Hedges next on ABC.
And he's been playing his best football his last 8 quarters. Can't wait to see him tonight against that dog defense.
Pressure up the middle. It's picked up. Nussmeier moves out of the pocket, and that's incomplete. The receiver stepped out. Mason Taylor stepped out of bounds on his own. And so it's an incomplete pass. It'll bring up third down.
Well, usually Mason Taylor's so good at spatial awareness, knowing exactly where he's out. Foot's just going to slightly step out of bounds before he brings in that catch. And boy, this play's about to get loud. Last time they weren't able to protect. It was good coverage, and it forced a late pressure sack fumble. Garrett Nussmeier's got to be smart, got to take care of the football in this position.
He's been terrific on third down for the most part tonight. He's in trouble, gets hit and sacked back at the 5-yard line. George Gums.
Well, it was Gums with the sack and the excitement, but this play was made by 88 Caleb Banks. He's just going to win the power rush inside and allow Gums to get there late. Well, this pass rush is really starting to come to life. This is an LSU offensive line coming into tonight that had only given up 6 sacks all season, and 4 now for this Florida Gators defense. Watch Caleb Banks inside just win. He's working on 65. Mubinga, power inside, sheds him. A big sack for the Gators and a punt coming your way with an action-packed fourth quarter.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stings that just will never come out.
ENA.
Welcome back to Gainesville. You're watching the SEC on ABC. And what a scene here in the swamp with Florida trying to pull the upset and, for all intents and purposes, eliminate LSU from SEC title consideration. Game is tied, and the Tigers have to punt from the back of their own end zone. Oschendorf gets rid of it, but a short kick fielded at the 43. The ball is on the ground. It was muffed by DK, but he recovered it at the 46-yard line.
Boy, good recovery there by DK. He initially unable to field that clean, jumps on top of it. Veteran senior receiver. Disaster avoided for Florida. I'm sorry, how about that scene during the break, the fourth quarter? My first time to be here with the Tom Petty song and the lights came out. That was awesome. College football at its finest. What separates this sport, these fans, from anything else on the planet. An incredible scene here at the Swamp here tonight.
They'll be even louder if the Gators get into the end zone in this drive. They start in plus territory on the LSU 45. True freshman quarterback DJ Lagway back in action after missing last week. Hands it off. Jacoby Jackson inside the 40, spun forward by Swinson, and a gain of 8 on the first play.
Well, good blocking on the left side. They need to get back to run the football. I know DJ Lagway back, and it's great. But Florida the last 3 weeks, they've been physical up front. They've ran the football very effectively, averaging 170 yards a game the last 3 coming in. Nice run to start this drive by Jacoby Jackson.
Only 12 run plays so far in this game, but again, they barely had the ball. Second and short, play action, Lagway in trouble. Steps up and throws deep. It's caught. Badger down inside the 1. What a play. Lagway stepping up with Swinson about to sack him. It's a gain of 36.
What a throw and a play from DJ Lagway. Does Badger get in? Does not look like it. They're going to go quick. Expect a handoff here.
Touchdown, Jacoby Jackson to give the Gators the lead. But how about the play by the true freshman quarterback, DJ Lagway? with one of the best pass rushers in the country bearing down on him. He steps up enough to make the throw downfield to Badger, setting up the 1-yard touchdown and the extra point by Smack to make it 20-13 Gators.
Let's go back to the big pass that set up the touchdown run. You're going to see pressure right now off the edge from Swinson. Stepping up, climbing by Lagway, on the move. He hits Badger in stride. Sets up the touchdown run. Gators on top here late in the swamp.
When you order Domino's online, we'll give you a free pizza to use for a future pizza emergency.
They pass Dustin Dvorak, Taylor McGregor. Good friends Graham Mertz and DJ Lagway having a conversation after this gorgeous play by Lagway, who, by the way, has now targeted a healthy Eli Badger 9 times in the second half. He's got 6 catches, 131 yards, a touchdown, and that last play down to the LSU 1 before the 1-yard run from Jackson. Another touchback.
Well, we talked earlier about Braden Swinson off the edge. It starts there. The pressure comes, and it's a great job by Lagway. Watch Jordan Gilbert. He's going to rotate, and you're going to have his deep post. And as Gilbert rolls the coverage, and he's that center field safety, he's going to get turned. Gets turned around, never gets back in good position. And it's an absolute dime by Lagway, setting up the Jackson touchdown run, giving the Gators a 4th quarter lead.
Can LSU respond? The last 6 plays have gone for just 6 yards and a turnover. No running room off the left side for Caden Durham. Dropped at the 23 by Sapp, who's lived in the LSU backfield today.
3rd tackle for loss. He's on a slant. Gets lateral, then vertical. Gates also off the edge. Well, this Gators defense, it has cranked up the aggressiveness and been creating a lot of negative plays here these last several possessions.
Nussmeier gets rid of it quickly to Anderson out in the flat, and he is clocked at the 24, just a 1-yard gain. Jordan Castell with the lick. 3rd and long.
Well, if you're LSU, you've got to protect. They've had a big issue on the interior of this offensive line. 88 Caleb Banks has been creating all kinds of havoc inside. And then who can win outside? These spots, Mason Taylor, always Mr. Reliable. Can he get time and find him?
He's in the slot at the top of your screen. Nussmeier backing up and finds a receiver complete. It's caught at the 44 by C.J. Daniels. They pick up 3rd and 11 and get 20.
Well, he had time, and he rolls to his left, keeping the eyes downfield. And it's that deep dig, the in cut from C.J. Daniels, and a massive 3rd down conversion.
They'll run it with Williams straight ahead. Grounded at the 47, about 3. Desmond Watson on the stop along with Joey Slackman. 12-minute mark here in the 4th. LSU on the move, trailing by 7.
Two tight ends in the ball game right now for LSU. Like to run the football. This formation as they motion Pimpton over.
Instead, it's play action. Nussmeier in trouble. Steps up. Hit. Spun down for the sack. Cameron James. That's the 5th sack of Nussmeier tonight.
Well, it's Gates who's coming on the pressure. He's going to get home initially. You're going to see him win. And then it's Cameron James who gets there late and gets a big sack.
Nussmeier. Underneath pass, running past midfield is Thomas. He's short. It's going to be 4th and 3. Are you going for it here? You're at midfield. You can pin him deep. You have a lot of time, but we've seen LSU go for it before in this game when on this
I think they're putting the ball in Garrett Nussmeier's hands. They're going to trust Garrett Nussmeier, veteran quarterback. Well, it's a roll of the dice decision here by Brian Kelly. They could also hard count right here. Mason Taylor moving in motion.
Nussmeier in trouble, spins away from Banks, throws, first down. C.J. Daniels, a 3rd down conversion catch earlier, and now a grab on 4th down to keep the drive alive to the Florida 42.
For the 2nd time, he's now rolled to his left and located C.J. Daniels. Really good by Daniels, sitting down in the open space, giving a good target for Garrett Nussmeier. He felt that pressure, knew he had to reverse, spin, roll out, and he keeps this drive alive. What a play from Garrett Nussmeier.
Such a talented player. The turnovers have been the only issue. Mel Kiper has him as the number 4 quarterback in the draft. Redshirt junior who started his prep career here in Gainesville. Hands it off. Durham inside the 40 and down to the 38. Good pickup of about 4 on 1st down.
Well, it pays to have a veteran quarterback. And how about the trust there from Brian Kelly? As you set it up perfectly right there around midfield, 4th and 3. You could punt, you could pin them deep. Such a big decision in the moment. And you trust and you put the football in Garrett Nussmeier's hands, and it pays huge dividends.
Nussmeier leads the SEC in completions. He actually has more completions this year than Jaden Daniels had all of last year. Daniels won the Heisman. Obviously more of a dual threat, but Nussmeier has more attempts as well. They're 2/3 pass to run ratio throughout this season, and that's been the case here in the 2nd half. See if they go back to the ground on 2nd and 6. They will with Durham, and there's big Des Watson. Wrapped him up. Pickup of about 2 or 3. 3rd down.
Just trying to stay committed to the run here after that big 4th down conversion. I think you would expect and anticipate. We've already entered 4-down territory here, Dave. I think Brian Kelly recognizes they need to come away with a touchdown from this drive.
This drive has taken over 5 minutes. Play 10 coming up. Nussmeier trying to set up the throwback, but it's dropped by Williams. Could not hang on to it. 4th down.
This was set up so good. Mason Taylor, you would anticipate he's the initial read. But it's Josh Williams behind him, and he's got space in front, just drops the pass. Love the call by Joe Sloan. An unfortunate drop from the veteran Josh Williams.
What do you expect here? 4th and 3. 4th and 4.
Well, I've said a lot throughout the course of the day, but Mason Taylor, he's had timely 4th down catches all season. Coaches said when they need to play, 13 looks to 86.
Nussmeier looking the other way right now. Comes back to the middle, and it's caught by Taylor. A 1st down inside the 25. Gain of 15 to the 21-yard line.
He's just so good finding space. Okay, you're going to have Shamar James sitting back in zone coverage. Watch Shamar James. Shamar James right here, he's sitting back. Now freeze it, guys. Now watch right there. Mason Taylor just works inside to that window. He fills the coverage, and he gives that big target for the quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier. That is just so good as we now see Mason Taylor on the ground.
6th catch of the day. They're on the cusp of the red zone, down 7 with Taylor shaken up.
The SEC on ABC is presented by Burger King. They're here. 3 new delicious Whopper sandwiches created by fans. Get to BK now.
They were looking at the outside of the left knee of Mason Taylor. Looks to be okay, but he's got to sit one play because he was injured. on that last play before the break on that 4th down conversion.
Take a look back at it after the catch. Bridges comes down low, takes out the legs of Mason Taylor. But fortunately, he was up, moving his leg, and looks good. How about Garrett Nussmeier on this drive, Dave Pasch?
5 of 6 and 2 for 2 on 4th down, including the last play. On the Florida 21. Movement on the right side of the line. Out of a timeout by LSU.
Ball start. Offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Emory Jones, just a little bit of movement. He kind of starts swaying there in his stance. See him off the right side. Quickly, you see Tyreek Sapp, who's had a whale of a game. Point over. That's all it takes.
Remember, Emory Jones had the fumble, too. He recovered the fumble of Nussmeier, but then coughed it up himself. And then Florida turned that turnover into a touchdown. That's the difference in the game. Nussmeier to the sideline, and Durham can't get away from the defensive back at the 22, Bryce Thornton.
Well, that's a good tackle out in space. And Cade Durham, they go empty. They put him out there. He's a really good receiving threat. And to be out there with all that space and be able to make that open field tackle and just get Durham to the ground, that's well done.
Will they target Kyron Lacey at all? Just 2 targets, 1 catch in this game.
Top of your screen.
He is their leading receiver, the 3rd leading receiver in the conference. He's been a non-factor today. Gonna run it. Durham, nowhere to go. Pyburn firing into the backfield, was there first. No gain on the play. 3rd and long.
Where they have been masterful in these situations. 12 of 16 today. Garrett Nussmeier on 3rd and 4th down. We've seen him twice now spin out to his left. You're a Gators defender. You better keep contained to that left side.
Play 14 of a 7.5-minute drive. 3rd and 11. Nussmeier forced out of the pocket by Gums. He's going to tuck it and tackled at the 21-yard line. Gums had the initial pressure, and then he ran the quarterback down. It's 4th and long, and LSU is going to have to bring on the field goal team.
Boy, what a job by George Gums. Forcing this field goal attempt. The power. Watch the power. Gets low, off the edge, and how about the effort? Never going to stop, never going to give up, and track down the quarterback and get his defense to stop. I think if they would have gotten it more 4th and 4 manageable, you go for it. But from 4th and 10, this is the right call to kick the field goal.
And 38 yards. And this one hooks at the last second, and it's good. LSU within 4, 5:18 to play.
Well, before the Gators get the ball back, let's take you back to their last drive on offense that gave them the lead. The pressure from Swinson, the step up from Lagway, and the big catch by Elijah Badger. And here's a look from the progressive pylon cam. Badger did not get in the end zone, but the following play, it was Jacoby Jackson to give the Gators a lead. Gators defense held LSU to a field goal. And as we sit right above 5 minutes left, it's Florida up 4 on LSU.
Remember, LSU missed a field goal earlier in the game. It's a touchback. It'll come out to the 25. So Florida's only had the ball for 16 minutes. It's one of the reasons why they only have 59 rushing yards. They've only had 12 handoffs in this game. Is that what you're thinking here? Yes. Focusing on the run at this stage of the game of the league.
No doubt. This is the way Florida's built. Inside out. They're a running football team. I know they've got DJ Lagway, and Lagway's definitely had a massive mark on this ball game. But to me, this is where you bring in Jaden Ball, the other true freshman, at 235, and you try to pound this football. 2 tight ends in. Hanson, Livingston, love to run behind those 2.
And they will. Ball in trouble in the backfield, but did get about a yard. Whit Weeks, it's the first time we've called his name in this game. Second leading tackler in the SEC. And he made the stop, but Jordan Gilbert had a chance to get a tackle for a loss, but could not bring the running back down. Jaden Baugh is 235 pounds, true freshman from Atlanta. Good guy to lean on here, initially recruited by Florida as a linebacker.
Blake Baker aggressive there, bringing a safety down. Ball's going to exit the backfield out wide.
And LSU will come after Lagway. His pass caught for a first down. Out to the 45-yard line is Hayden Hansen, the tight end. 19 yards.
Well, they knew pressure was coming. Blake Baker's going to dial it up, and no one is going to account for the tight end, Hayden Hansen. And that is just a well-called play by Billy Napier, anticipating the pressure, and an easy throw for DJ Lagway.
Nearing 4 minutes to go in the ball game. We're going to take some time here off the clock.
No rush here for DJ Lagway. Going to run this clock down as far as you can.
And they snap it with about 4 on the play clock. And on the pitch, room for Jaden Baugh inside the 30. Baugh inside the 10. Touchdown, Gators! Largest lead for either team on a 55-yard run for a touchdown by Jaden Baugh. And LSU now down 11 with only 3:48 to play.
Well, you lean on your run game, and you lean on your talented freshman, not the quarterback. In this case, it's the running back, the left side. Watch the block by 77, Harris, 89. Hayden Hansen, who just had to catch another good block, and it's even Badger with the block on the edge. Excellent job on the perimeter. Man on a man. Ball puts his foot in the ground. As the defender slides past, he gets vertical, and it's heels to the field, and a massive Florida Gator touchdown. There's a look from the progressive pylon cam as Jaden Baugh gets into the end zone, giving a little bit of cushion to this Florida Gators team with under 4 minutes to play.
7th rushing touchdown for Jaden Baugh. All have come in the last 4 games. Montrell Johnson got hurt in the Tennessee game, and so that meant true freshman Jaden Baugh was going to carry the load at running back. He had 5 touchdowns on the ground in a win against Kentucky.
That's the future. Lagway quarterback, Baugh in the backfield. What a young combination the Gators have at their disposal.
Touchback, checking with Taylor.
And they build off each other. I've watched it on the sideline all night long. Going back to earlier on in the season, DJ Lagway was telling us how they had conversations about how hard it was for both of them to not be the guy. Both of them were elite high school players, and then they came here and they had to wait their turn. Now their turns have come much faster than they anticipated, and they will continue to challenge each other to be the best in the SEC, because that is the dream they both have.
Well, they've been a huge factor in this game, and now LSU with 3 timeouts, a 2-minute official timeout, but down 11, needing 2 possessions. Nussmeier's pass caught, and Taylor, now they're going to say incomplete, did not secure it. On the way to the ground on the far sideline in front of the LSU bench.
You touched on this a lot throughout the broadcast. Where is Kyron Lacey? And Kyron Lacey, one of the best receivers in the SEC and in all of college football, and we barely called his name here tonight.
There he is. I mean, even something as simple as that, just surprised they didn't do that a little bit more in this game. He's very good with a ball in his hands. He's a playmaker. He's got 3 100-yard games on the year.
And they got to go quick, Dave. They got to go quick. I know he's out of bounds. The clock's running. Garrett Nussmeier's got to expedite this process. Down 2 scores.
Boy, taking a lot of time here on 3rd down and 4. And Nussmeier with a dangerous pass, but coming back to make the catch is Daniels for a 1st down. The clock will keep moving, though. We're still outside 2 minutes to go.
Boy, this is a good competitive catch by C.J. Daniels. Attacks that football and brings it in with Bridges draped all over it.
Here's the thing, too, with all this time coming off the clock, if you get down there quickly for a field goal, all you got to do is get it to a 1-score game. Yet this drive has already taken 1 minute and 15 seconds. And in trouble is Nussmeier. And he takes a sack. Boy, Caleb Banks in the backfield again, and now Nussmeier is hurt. So timeout charge to LSU, 2 left for the Tigers.
Well, you mentioned Banks, but watch Shamar James on this pressure. He's going to get low. He's going to rip up underneath Josh Williams, continue that rush, and engulf Garrett Nussmeier. It's an outstanding job hitting downhill. That's like clinic tape on a dip rip. And typically from a lineman, you don't see linebackers that good on a blitz be able to pull off a pass rush move like that on the fly. And typically Josh Williams really good in protection, unable to help his quarterback. 6 sacks tonight from this Florida defense. That's as many as LSU had given up the entire season, Dave Pat.
And now Ricky Collins, the backup quarterback who's thrown 1 pass this year against a Power 4 school. That was against Arkansas in an LSU blowout victory in Fayetteville. It's either him or A.J. Swan that's going to come in the game, and it's going to be Swan, who has no stats on the year as they look at Nussmeier on the LSU bench. They had to take the timeout there, so they have 3 stoppages left, 2 timeouts of their own, the official 2-minute timeout, but again down 2 scores. Swan, a transfer from Vanderbilt, originally from Georgia, and he'll dump it off here to Durham, trying to get out of bounds, and he does at the 26. But again, we're outside 2 minutes, so that clock runs, and now it's 3rd down and 19.
And Garrett Nussmeier checks back in the ball game. He's hurt, he's beat up, but he's going to go down swinging and try to do everything he can to will this team back into the ball game.
Underneath pass to Lacey with some running room, and he gets the 1st down and steps out of play. We're inside 2 minutes now, so the clock will start on the snap at the 50-yard line. So LSU, if it can get 15 more yards, can it give its kicker a chance to at least get it to a 1-score game? Back in a moment. Carson Beck and Georgia in a potential elimination game if the Bulldogs can't beat number 7 Tennessee. That's coming up next on ABC. Don't forget BYU late tonight on ESPN. The Cougars rank 6th. Meanwhile, where is the sense of urgency for LSU? 1:52 left, 2 timeouts remaining, down 2 scores. We'll see what their mindset is here in terms of time management, whether they look for a field goal early on this possession. Nussmeier in trouble, steps up to run, and the clock's going to keep moving. That is only a 2-yard gain. They don't want to use a timeout yet.
Well, they've got to move quick. They've got to move very quick. And to your point, they don't have to have a touchdown here. They can elect to get in field goal range, kick the field goal, and still have those 2 timeouts to try to get the ball back and get another score. But too much time coming off the clock.
And they haven't recovered an onside kick in 5 years, by the way. Nussmeier dancing around, dumps it off to Durham, who's trying to get the first down and now head for the sideline to stop the clock. And he does with 1:16 left. You're not yet in the range of Damian Ramos, who's long on the season is 50, and that was tonight. He missed a 51-yarder earlier, and they're at the 36 right now.
If they can get to around the 30-yard line, Dave, I think that there's a real possibility Brian Kelly could potentially elect to kick this field goal and utilize those timeouts.
Nussmeier taking a shot, got a receiver, incomplete. Chris Hilton Jr. could not hang on.
Well, Brian Kelly's not thinking field goals, he's thinking touchdowns. And Garrett Nussmeier takes his shot to the speedy Chris Hilton, and he's got him. He's past the coverage, and this pass just off his fingertips in the back of the end zone. Oh, boy, he brought those arms in too close. Nuss thought he had it. Instead, a long incompletion.
Forced out of the pocket, throwing on the run, complete, and getting out of bounds is Josh Williams. That puts the ball at the 31-yard line. The clock stopped with 1:01 to go.
Brian Kelly keeping the offense on the field. You and I talked through it in the break. They got in field goal range and the situation set up. Getting to a point now where you're going to keep this offense on the field.
Nussmeier in trouble, steps up, sacked again, and maybe out of field goal range. Tyreek Sapp. He's been a dude today in the backfield all day.
What a monster game for Tyreek Sapp. This Florida Gator defensive line. It's been a long day for Paul Mubinga. You see both these Gators right here. Here's Sapp. He's just going to work inside. Both stacked right there on top of the redshirt freshman left guard. And it's a bull rush initially. Sapp works off to the inside. What a game for him. And his 7th sack of this ball game for this Gators defense. Ron Roberts got to be on cloud 9 with the way they performed here tonight.
LSU had given up 6 sacks all year until tonight. 2 sacks alone by Tyreek Sapp, and the offense staying on the field, it would be about a 56-yard field goal from here for Damian Ramos. How do you like your chances of that versus converting on 4th and 12?
I think it's out of his range. I don't think you have the choice to be able to try to kick a field goal. I think it's the only choice you can make if you're Brian Kelly in this spot. Mason Taylor.
Had to use a
4th down conversion already in this ball game.
Had to use a timeout as well, so just 1 remaining. Everybody covered, and now Nussmeier throws, knocked away, incomplete. Bridges breaks up the pass intended for Taylor, and Florida takes over on downs.
Well, Triquez Bridges going to come in from the backside, and they go once again to Mason Taylor, and really well done coming in over the top with the right hand to get the pass breakup and get the final stop for this Gators football team. Nussmeier and Kelly having a discussion. Nussmeier saw one thing, Brian Kelly pleading with him, hoping he saw another. And the streak will be over for Brian Kelly. He had a streak of 7 straight seasons with 10-plus wins going back to Notre Dame in his first 2 years at LSU. This 4th loss will guarantee that streak comes to a halt, as does the winning streak LSU has over Florida. It stops at 5. And what a moment, what a win for Billy Napier and the Florida Gators.
The athletic department showing faith in Billy Napier. Vote of confidence from Athletic Director Scott Strickland about a week ago, saying Napier's our guy. And the players showed up for him big, getting a signature win for Napier as they not only knock off number 22 LSU, but end any hopes of the Tigers winning an SEC championship and being a playoff team. Elimination for LSU. Big win for the Gators. Let's go to Taylor with Coach.
Coach, what does this win mean to you?
I'm going to tell you something. You know, as a coach, it's always been about purpose. And the players are the purpose, right? And for them to experience some gratification. You know, these guys have been an incredible example of the intangibles that we want our team to be about, the way they've stuck together. Obviously, a ton of adversity, but it's a resilient group. They care about each other. And that was a team win. That was a complimentary, all phases. It's awesome to see those guys experience some success for all the hard work they put in.
Speaking of resiliency, what did you see out of DJ Lagway all week long to battle through the injury and then come in and beat the number 22 team in the country?
Yeah, I mean, I think the guy wanted to play last week, right? And, you know, we felt like we were doing what was right by him. He didn't miss a rep all week, and the training staff did a great job. You know, he was probably 85% tonight. We played from within the pocket, and it got us made play after play. So a lot we can do better, but hats off to the entire team. I thought we played complimentary football. The defense was outstanding, and man, it was electric in here tonight.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Dave.
Florida closes it out, outscoring LSU 14-3 in the fourth quarter. Poor clock management by LSU. The final 4 minutes took a sack, and some plays that didn't get to the sideline really cost the Tigers a chance to at least get it a one-possession game. Coming up next, big one between the hedges, Tennessee and Georgia. For Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor, I'm Dave Pash. So long from Gainesville, Florida. 27, LSU 16. Now back to Kevin and Boog in the studio.
Dave, what a big win for Billy Napier and the Gators. Nico Iamaleava out of concussion protocol, cleared to play. The Volunteers in Athens will get you ready for the showdown against Georgia after this.